swing, 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 swing. Hi, Mama.
Hi everyone, it's Sab here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my 30-week update with pregnancy, baby number 5. So far, really, there's not a whole lot extra from the last week. This morning actually was a little odd because I got a nosebleed, which is something I have not had since I was pregnant with my oldest. Can't say my first, but my oldest baby, or my oldest child that I have right now. That one was a lot worse. This one wasn't so bad. It was literally just like I sneezed and then that was it. So it was weird. I haven't had that for a very long time. I don't normally get nosebleeds. So I know that is a pregnancy symptom for some people. And I just found it odd that I had 3 pregnancies in between that had absolutely no nosebleeds at all. So, otherwise, once again, my moods are still kind of all over the place. This last week has been a very emotional week for me. I've been up and down a lot on my emotions. I'm actually up a lot earlier doing this recording in the morning before my kids are up, so I'm not sure what time they're going to get up. You might hear some bump as they come running down the stairs in a little while. I'm pretty proud of myself for this morning because I'm trying to get up earlier. I like having early mornings to myself a bit. I've already done my devotions and breakfast is in the oven, and I have not started my bread yet, mostly because we're going to town later on today. The kids were part of a summer reading program and the wind-up is today, so I'm not sure how late that goes, but generally I will probably be home at around like sometime after lunch, well, normal lunch, noon. So I have to wait a little longer before I can make the bread because I don't want it rising for too long because then it gets too big. My bread, it's funny because when I first started making it, it didn't really get much higher than this. I had the saran wrap over the loaf just to keep it from drying out. Now the saran wrap, I'm like, I almost want to take it off partway through the rising process because it gets so tall. If I don't butter the saran, it ends up sticking to the loaf, and then it's a horrible mess afterwards, and I don't end up with half my loaf of bread. So I'm thinking I'm going to just have to wait until shortly before we leave to make the bread. We'll just have the sponge sit there for a while until later. I got the homeschool stuff set up for the kids for this morning. We're hoping to get that all done before we go as well. It's nice to get the schooling done earlier in the morning. I'm still not into like the full school schedule yet. We're just kind of sticking mostly to English and math. We did some science yesterday because the solar eclipse was on yesterday. Unfortunately, we did not get to see it here. I was very disappointed. We had like full-blown cloud cover. I know there were a few people, a number of miles south of us, that got a little glimpse of it because the clouds broke up just enough, just at the right time that they could see. We only would have gotten about 70% coverage on of the sun, but it would have been really cool to be able to see it. We made the little pinhole projectors, and we actually had some fun with some cookies. The one side being the vanilla and the one side being the chocolate. They're not Oreo, but they're kind of like the Oreo. They're the sandwich cookies, and the kids really enjoyed that because tasty science. We like tasty science. So, oh yeah, they're up now. Not really a whole lot to report on my pregnancy. Baby has been moving a lot. I can see him as he scoots around in there. I don't have any heartburn yet. I'm still very surprised by that. I usually get heartburn actually quite early on in pregnancy, and I haven't experienced any of that yet. Like, the odd time, but it's more like a normal thing. It's not like pregnancy heartburn where you like constantly dealing with it. I have been getting up during the night now, which once again, I was expecting that to happen maybe about 36 weeks, and I'm 30 weeks, so it's some of these things are a little earlier. It's not every night yet. It's still just the odd night here and there. I still get nightmares. The other night I got a nightmare, but it wasn't like I had my milk before bed, but I got up during the night, and then after I went back to bed, because it wasn't like late at night, it was like 5 in the morning or something that I had gotten up. So, and I went back to bed because I was tired. I wanted to go back to bed. And then I had a nightmare and got up like, I'm like, okay, now I'm up. I'm not going back to bed. So, I've been napping a little bit during the day when I can, because I will just find about midday, like 3 o'clock-ish, I call that midday, but about 3 o'clock, all of a sudden I will find like sheer exhaustion just like wash over. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like I'm fine, I've got energy, I'm doing stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like whoosh, and I feel like everything is just drained right out of me. So then I usually go and I'll lie down for a bit. Quite often I'll fall asleep. I actually fell asleep in my rocking chair the other day while doing my devotions. I was like, and my husband comes in. I'm like, it's morning. Like, I just got up from bed. I just made breakfast and whatever, and after breakfast, I usually try before breakfast to do my devotions, but that morning it was after. And I'm like, how does this even work? I don't know how I was so exhausted in the morning after I'd had a full night's sleep, but you know, whatever. But yeah, this week I have a doctor's appointment. I believe it's actually tomorrow. I need to check the calendar because I don't want to miss that. I don't really even have any questions for the doctor. Things like I said, from this last week to this week, nothing really has changed a whole lot. I don't even feel like I've gotten any bigger. Like I think, like, I feel fuller, but my stomach is not sticking out further, and I think that's due to the muscle separation. I think it just kind of, at one point, once the baby was at a certain point, everything just went pop, and there you go. And now it's just kind of staying there, and as the baby is just filling out and whatnot, I'm not really enlarging, getting any bigger. The movements have been like a lot more, and I know that the movements will change after a while. Right now it's still kicking up here a bit, but most of the time I just kind of I can feel his bum or his leg or whatever. I can kind of feel them, and sometimes I'll get like just little pops and movements, but usually it's just his feet that I feel. Hiccups are weird. He doesn't hiccup as much as my others did. My others, I remember having at least 2 or 3 large hiccup sessions during the day, and he doesn't seem to have as many hiccups as they did. But I feel them, like, usually when I was pregnant with my others, I would feel them very far down low. But with him, I feel them up here, kind of like his whole body is just jerking up and down when he hiccups. So that's different. But yeah, otherwise, no pregnancy's still good. I can't believe that I'm 30 weeks already. Like, it's, I want to get more stuff ready for the baby. I haven't done a whole lot with that. I kind of organized the baby bedding. I have all of my my more masculine bedding down here. I took all the pink upstairs to where the girls are sleeping, because my youngest is still in her toddler bed. So I'm like, we'll bring those things up, and then I want to, my dresser drawer or my dresser back there, I want to go through it. I have 3 of the drawers are for baby clothes. The other 3 have been for like other stuff. So I want to go through it and clear that out and make that other stuff disappear so that I can have at least 1 or 2 drawers for the diapers. My diapers are all older already, so I might have to see if I can find and buy some new ones, especially covers. My covers are not in the best shape anymore because most of them I bought used. And my now 4-year-old, she was the one that was being cloth, that I had in cloth, and she would not train. She was about 3.5 when she was finally potty trained. It just took forever. So I'm wanting to see what I can do with that. I've actually washed a lot of the baby clothes already, and I've folded them and put them in. I want to do a better job of sorting them. I've noticed I had some 6-month stuff in there, so I want to kind of go through it again. But they're clean. The bedding I have not washed yet. I want to do that closer to when my due date is, because if it sits for a while and gets dusty, like no. I figure I'll do that probably in October. I've set up a bit, but I'm not doing a whole lot for setup for the baby. By the time, with the first baby, you want to have the whole nursery and a new room and all sorts of stuff. And by the time you get to the 5th, it's kind of like, what do we have? What can we use? What do we need? And just minimal. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking what I already have and using it. I'm not buying much at all. I'm not a shopper in general. I don't shop. My maternity clothes, I haven't bought any maternity clothes for this baby, like for this pregnancy. I'm just using what I've already got. And it works. It saves us a lot of money too. But anyways, I will go ahead and show you my belly. So this is my 30-week belly. It's big, but I don't really feel like it's any bigger than the last couple of weeks. I don't really feel like it's really gotten to be much bigger. But yeah, that's all for me. Hope to update next week, see what my doctor says. I don't know if I was supposed to do a glucose test, and I have not done it yet because 1 hour glucose test, 4 kids. No, I need to get somebody to watch the kids while I do it. So we'll see when I finally get around to it. I know we're supposed to do it around 28 weeks, and I'm 30 weeks. I didn't do it with my first 3 at all, so which was different. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I hope you all have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time.